So the next question we're asking is revelation a success term? The idea in here is when you say if revelation a success term, you're saying, does it mean that it has to be successful? Can God give revelation to someone and it not be success, or they not receive it? So for this topic, we're going to go back to looking at Mavrodes' schema for revelation. And we mentioned George Mavrodes, a little bit ago, but he had his schema for revelation, which we talked about in the last one. We'll just copy it here again. Schema for revelation goes that M reveals A to N by means of K at a time T and location L. So M here is the one doing the act of revealing. A is the content that is actually revealed, and N is the subject, the one to whom the revelation is being given. And it's given by some means at some time and in some place. So we want to think about, is it possible for God to reveal something to someone and it to fail to happen, it not be a success? Would it still be revelation if that were the case? So if you're going to think of revelation as being a success term, you would say if God were to reveal something to someone, but that someone didn't apprehend it, then that would mean it wasn't a revelation. Because in this sense, revelation is a success term. To say something's a revelation means that it must have been successful. So this would be a view that George Mavrodes took. Mavrodes likened revelation to proof. So there's an example given that if I prove something, then there's someone that I'm proving it to. In the same way as for revelation, if you're revealing something, then there's someone that you're revealing it to. And so you have truth, and truth is being directed at a subject. So it wouldn't make any sense to say that something had been proved, but that it was false. Because if it was false, then there's no way that it could have been proved. I couldn't say that something was true, but that I don't believe it. Because if I'm not, why would I not believe something that's not true if I think it's true? I wouldn't believe it because I would think that it's false. I also wouldn't be able to say that you proved something to me, but that I didn't believe it. Because if I'm not believing it, then how could I say that you proved it to me? I clearly don't think that you proved it to me. And so this is the idea behind thinking of revelation as a success term. If you're going to say that God revealed something, and you treat that as a term of success, meaning that it had to have worked, that it must have been accepted by the people who the revelation was directed at, then that's the sort of reasoning that you would follow. So what would be the other view, though? The other view would be to look at it not as a term of success. And in this view, you're looking at revelation being a person-relative action that's happening. So just as it wouldn't make sense to say that John proved it to me, but I didn't believe it, because if I didn't believe it, then how could I say that he proved it to me? That clearly didn't happen. But that would be from my point of view. You could, however, say that John proved it to Jackson, but Jackson did not believe it. Because either from John's point of view or your point of view as a third observer, you could say that John did prove it, that he was successful in that, but that it was Jackson who refused to accept it. So then it's not an issue of the truth that's within what John is proving. The same way you could say God revealed something, or God revealed his love towards people, but the people did not accept it. So from God's perspective, he did reveal it, and you as an observer could say that there's no fault in how God revealed it or in the truth that he revealed, but that it was simply on the part of the receivers not accepting it. So what you do still need, however, is you need a conscious subject that the revelation can be directed at or sent to, and who's capable of experiencing the revelation, even if they're going to choose not to accept it. It might be that they fail to understand it, or that they're resisting it, or that they choose not to believe it, but that doesn't mean that revelation didn't happen. It doesn't mean that something wasn't proved, to use that analogy. And that's the ideas behind revelation as a success term.